going on, people? It's the Xbot 448. And guys, again, this is my new kind of like format for different gaming news videos and stuff like that. I hope you like it. I do call it the live video. Huge shout out to everybody out there in the chat checking out this video. Today we are talking about Nintendo. And I've heard this for the last couple days now, and I was wondering why more gaming YouTubers aren't really talking about this. I think Review Tech touched on it a little bit. I don't really know what he said. If you guys follow my channel, you know how, like, pretty much what I feel about that channel or whatnot. I use it for entertainment, and not always the most innocent entertainment when it comes to that guy and talking about gaming news, stuff like that. Um, but I will say this is interesting to me as people are coming out, and there's different news articles out there, and I do have a link to an article in the description below talking about how Nintendo may be leaving consoles. Now, again, personal opinion here, I felt like when they came out with the Switch that, to me, they were going with their strong hand there. They were going with what people have labeled as a hybrid, but I feel it's a handheld. And there's a couple things with the Switch that could make me consider it a handheld. All right, you have kind of like the low data storage or low memory for that system, exactly like a handheld, right? Of course, the big kind of like gorilla in the room is the thing has a screen on it and you can take it with you, even though if you can only game for about like 4 hours or so, depending on what game you're playing on the thing, it is a portable unit. And to me, that is a handheld. You hold it in your hand and you play games, even though, you can plug it into your TV as well. To me, this was incredible marketing by Nintendo, just for the fact that, what I see the gaming community and a lot of people who defend it as a console have come to me, saying, oh, it's a hybrid, you can plug it into your TV. There are dedicated people who do not want me to say the Switch is the world's most powerful handheld. And again, I have gone on record saying I don't see nothing wrong with that. Now, with that being said, the new kind of like CEO of Nintendo, I believe his name is Furukawa, and I apologize if I have completely butchered that name. I'm not used to saying kind of like Japanese names and stuff like that, so definitely bear with me on that thing. But Furukawa, let me pull up the article here from IBT, and this is the article that is listed in the description below. You can check it out yourself, right? Basically, Furukawa came out, and we could read along if you want. It has been over 30 years since we started developing consoles. Nintendo's history goes back even further, basically further than that. And through all the struggles that they faced, the only thing that they thought about was what to make next. In the long term, perhaps our focus as a business could shift away from consoles. Flexibility is just as important as ingenuity. Furukawa says, man, I can't talk today. But and people are really going out there with articles saying, really stressing concern, like, is Nintendo, are they going away from consoles? And again, I feel like they already started to do that with the Switch, even though there's people out there, and even Nintendo said, they say it's a console, but if you use common sense and use your eyeballs, you will realize that it is a handheld. All right, but not only that, let's talk about Nintendo's plans. First off, Furukawa was talking about the long term. All right, what is going on? Evil M, the Don is in the chat, and so is Mr. Glass. Guys, thank you for coming in and checking out this live video about Nintendo. Now, Furukawa, the new kind of like head of Nintendo, first off, when he started talking about this, he said long term, all right? And if you know anything about Nintendo's history, they started off as a card company, all right? And one of the things Nintendo has been known for constantly is their is their ability to be flexible, to move into different kind of like mediums and stuff like that when it comes to their revenue, when it comes to, what they're planning for the future. And I know in that article they talk about the different theme parks that Universal has partnered with Nintendo and they are creating. One of them being in Orlando, Florida. Another one being in Japan. And the Japanese one, it sounds really cool to me. It's called Super Nintendo Land. um, they haven't really put anything in there in terms of what are the attractions, but it should be ready by 2020, which is right around the corner. In enough time for the Olympics, which I believe is in Japan. It states that all in the article. Like I said, the link is in the description. I know I said that about 4 times within 2 minutes, but I wanted to let people know there is a link in the description. But so they're always flexible. They're always looking to create new kind of like streams of revenue. Furukawa has even come out and said about mobile games, because mobile games have a constant stream of revenue. There's constantly money coming in from the mobile space. That he basically stated that they want to go in and kind of double down on that as well, and really get Nintendo into the mobile game space. But all of this information does not mean that, by tomorrow, Nintendo's not going to be supporting the Switch. It doesn't even mean that they don't have an idea for another console a few years away, a couple years away or so. Basically, what it's stating is what is at the heart of Nintendo. Nintendo has always been able to look at their situation, and if they have to create new streams of revenue, new ways to create money, if they new medias to get into, they will do that. I know people out there who follow Nintendo. Like I said before, they started off as a card company, and look what happened. They turned into basically a household name when it comes to video game consoles. You look what happened with them in the handheld market with the Game Boy. Moving over, Game Boy, Game Boy Advanced into the whole, 3DS and everything like that. They went into the handheld market and they basically took it over to the point where I also see articles that say Sony isn't even going to try to get into the handheld market in 2019. They're good with that. They don't want to deal with trying to kind of like dethrone Nintendo. Um, so when it comes down to it, guys, people will post articles, whether it's gaming news, whether it's business news. At the end of the day, they are looking for clicks and stuff like that. So they will post kind of like doom and gloom articles, but go in and read it and read what Furukawa was saying about the company itself, and how they want to remain flexible. They also want to get into movies. So we're talking mobile games, we're talking theme parks, and we're talking movies. Now, if the theme parks are a huge hit, that is constant revenue right there. If mobile games are at least moderately successful, and we saw with games like Pokemon Go, they can definitely be successful in the mobile games market. That would also be a constant stream of revenue, and if anything, it could make them even more flexible with creating a new console, or if they want to go straight into handheld and that's it. It gives the company flexibility, and that's what's going on here. All right. They want to remain flexible. That's the heart of Nintendo, and that's what Furukawa is talking about doing. So they have different modes of revenue, different streams of revenue that they're working on with the theme parks, with mobile games, with movies as well. And he says that they're flexible enough that if they feel like their time is done in the console market, that they could do that no problem and still be successful as a company. What is going on, everybody? Thank you for hanging out with me. Like I said, we are talking about the whole Nintendo leaving console thing, and I did put a link in the description below. I highly suggest checking that out and seeing what Furukawa has to say, because at the end of the day, he's talking about the long term. and that's not like 3 years from now. That's talking long term business wise. It's making sure the company is alive like 10, 15, 20 years from now, and I think that's what's going on there. So let me see some of the comments in the chat for this live video. Uh, let me see what we got here with people talking about this. Yeah, people are talking amongst themselves, which is really good. Um, basically, J Slayer J66, you have pretty much the comment of the video. Nintendo isn't afraid to do whatever they want. You see that with the Switch, they tried to sell people cardboard that might not been as successful as they had hoped for. But what other company tries to think of a creative way to sell their consumers cardboard? They definitely will do whatever they want. They want to remain flexible. They are getting into movies, they are getting into mobile games and theme parks. The theme parks I'm really excited about. Can you imagine? They haven't really gone in and said exactly what the attractions are going to be, but can you imagine different attractions with like Mario, with Zelda, of course Pokemon, that's going to be huge. Um, but they have all these characters, and guys, guess what? These characters come from their console and handheld space. So I don't see them giving up on consoles anytime soon. The only thing that I see them possibly doing when it comes to games is going more handheld and mobile games. And I don't know if they're going to start with that like right off the bat, but with the success of the Switch, even though people out there do call it a console, they call it a hybrid, in my mind it's a handheld, and it is the world's most powerful handheld. But guys, that's pretty much the topic for today, this live video. Huge shout out to everybody who checked it out live. Huge shout out to everybody who's going to check this out afterwards. Like I said, this is a new form of gaming news content that I'm doing. It is a live video. I do have the chat going, people talking, getting together. This is going to be pretty much spontaneous when I have certain topics I want to go live about. To me, this was a very interesting topic. So if you're checking this out, once we go kind of off air in terms of live, in the comment section, I want to know what you think. If you think Nintendo is really going to leave console, looking at the success of the Switch, do you think the Switch is, at its heart a handheld that can plug into a TV? I love to see people who agree with me, by the way, because there's a lot of people out there who do not, who will argue with me, until the end of days that the Switch is a console. It's just quote unquote hybrid. Guys, when I look at it with my own two eyes, I see the world's most powerful handheld. But guys, I want to know what you guys think. I am looking at the chat right now. Let's see. Z Black Rider says Nintendo has to have their games or the IP is worthless. And Z Black, when it comes to that, how many companies have such iconic characters in their IP kind of like file cabinet? The Marios, the Zeldas, Pokemons, Metroid with Samus. Like, there are so many iconic gaming characters that they are pretty much overflowing when it comes to characters that they could use, for their attractions, for their games. Characters that gamers out there completely know about. Shout out to Evil M, who agrees with me that it is a handheld that can be displayed on your TV. And guess what, Evil? Don't let anybody try to get you to say anything different. I mean, it is not a bad thing that is what the Switch is. It just feels like there are people out there that feel like you are, cussing at their relatives if you're saying that about the Nintendo. I don't understand it. But it's cool to see that somebody agrees with me. Yeah, Don says according to the dictionary, it is a hybrid. Don, as usual, you are my brother, man, and we will agree to disagree if that's the case. But Don, I thought you were kind of in the same boat as me with looking at the Nintendo Switch. I don't know. I could be wrong. Great Skull Zero, he doesn't think it's a console either. And guys, like I said, it's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing. When it comes down to it, Nintendo, I feel they are absolute geniuses at what they do with creating handheld hardware to the point where, like I said, I'm seeing articles that Sony's not even touching handheld in 2019 because they don't even want to get into that battle with Nintendo. Because guess what, guys? They know they're going to lose. I mean, that's pretty much it. But guys, that's pretty much my topic. I hope you guys like this newer format when it comes to gaming news. Just going live. I feel like the production value with OBS. I feel like I really know what I'm doing with OBS now, and I like doing this. So guys, hit that thumbs up if you like this live video. Whether you're here now in the chat live or whether you're checking it out afterwards. Thank you again, guys, for all the support. This channel is up over 3,500 subs. I know that this is only the beginning, guys. I know there's a lot more people out there that, we could get a hold of. Let them know what this channel is all about. We just started season 2 of the next podcast. It just aired this past Saturday. Definitely check that out. Completely streamlined look in terms of gameplay and stuff like that. Gaming topics with, my boy K Mega. We had the Don, we had Knoxximus, and we had me. I think Predator will be back next week as well. I love doing that show for you guys. I love doing live things for you guys. I think that is it makes these videos a little more like personable. And if you like it, like I said, hit that thumbs up. Otherwise, guys, that's pretty much it for today. And we will see down the line what other news comes out during the week that I can go live on and share with you guys. But until then, this is the Xbot 448. And I am definitely signing off.